We all see it. It's all over social media. The dream life, quitting corporate job to pursue full-time traveling, not being confined to the corporate structure, and having all the time that you want to pursue whatever you want to do. Doesn't that sound amazing? I think our generation is the first generation to have that kind of access and have the resources to actually make that kind of lifestyle come true. It's easy to feel like our day-to-day life will never measure up to this idea of dream life, and we have made traveling full-time our definition of success. But I believe there's another side to the story that is not often talked about in this platform. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie, and whether you have been here for a while or this is your first time watching this video, welcome. This is a series called After Hours, where me, as a 9-to-5 worker, talks about life beyond the office life. And if you're also working in the office, then you know that it's probably not the easiest thing to do. So I hope that this platform can be a safe space for you, because trust me, you're not alone. Everyone in the corporate world, I feel like, has been through the same space, and it is like a question that we come back to over and over again. So yeah, I hope that we can journey together. Okay, so please don't get me wrong. I don't think there is anything wrong at all with pursuing full-time traveling. But I do think that a lot of people end up thinking that it is the ultimate and only definition of success. And soon enough, we get off social media feeling worse and worse because we think our day-to-day life will never compare to this great idea of full-time traveling and all that glam. I'm someone who loves traveling so much. In fact, if I were to have all the money in the world and I've done all the responsible adult things like buying a house and buying a car or stuff, you don't have to have it all figured out to go traveling. But you know what I mean? If I had all the money in the world and I could choose what I want to use it for, I'd choose traveling and horse riding. So traveling is definitely on top of the list. And so I get it. I really, really want to travel. And at some point, I considered leaving my job to pursue full-time traveling. There were so many months in my early career where I contemplated leaving my job and pursuing full-time travel because I felt like I was so discontent with my life. I just thought, is life really supposed to be like this? There should be more, It was around the time I just graduated. Before graduation, life just changes so fast. So it feels like a roller coaster. You kind of get used to the highs and lows, but not the in-betweens. I think the problem is we think that life is always supposed to be like this, but we don't get used to the in-betweens. And that is very important. Life may not always feel grand and glamorous all the time. Yes, I mean, the corporate life has its own limitation. Not being able to choose the tasks that you want to do or schedule your own time as freely as you'd like, and not to mention the challenging colleagues. I mean, it can all feel very confining very quickly. But I don't think the dark side of the other side of the spectrum is talked about enough, because I don't think traveling full-time is rainbows and sunshines all the time. And I hope that this video can provide at least a good comparison. I have traveled for quite a lengthy period of time. It was amazing. I mean, I was living the dream. It was literally my childhood dream. So you think I'd feel amazing all the time, but the truth is I cried a couple of times. First, of course, because I was traveling solo, and sometimes it can get intense and tiring, and it would be nice to have someone to talk to. But I also think that people don't realize how tiring traveling can be. Not just physically, but also hopefully your mind is tired, your body is tired. And research shows that it usually takes around 3 days for a person to fully feel settled in and can enjoy the city they're in. So you can imagine if you're traveling full time, then your body has to go through the constant adjustment to the changes and the new cities that you are visiting. It's great, of course. There are amazing moments, and I would say that my experience was so worth it, but I cannot imagine doing it forever. And I just remember saying to myself, this is actually more tiring than I thought, and I realized that it was nice to have a routine to go back to. So yes, travel burnout is real. And on top of adjusting to the new things and places, it can also be tiring if you are traveling for a long time and you have to constantly think about the technical stuff, like getting a new SIM card and figuring out the public transport, which yes, every single one of these are part of the fun, but yeah, if you're doing it for a long time, then it can get stressful very quickly. And I just think that everything, even the things that you love, have to be well paced so that you don't get sick of them and you always have something that you love to come back to whenever you're tired of your daily life. It is true what they say that anything that is too much is never good. You may end up wearing out the things that you love most. The second reason and consideration that I have is the financial stress. You know, traveling is notorious for being expensive, and over the past years, of course, you see a lot of terms like budget traveling being on the rise, and it is good, it is an option, but I think both ends of the spectrums have their own definition of stress. If you want to spend a lot of money to get a good or proper accommodations and proper everything else, then it may end up requiring a lot of more money. Then you have to be able to make sure that you have enough funding and resources to make the traveling full-time lifestyle sustainable. And that kind of money that can get you traveling full-time and make that lifestyle sustainable is simply not always easy to find. But if you travel on an extreme budget and you don't want to spend money on accommodations, meals, and everything else, then the lifestyle can be really stressful. Like the lower quality of life can actually bring you so much stress. For this reason, I think that it is worth considering that financial predictability and stability is worth taking into account for and valuing. It doesn't mean that this needs to be your safety net all the time and financial stability and predictability is everything. I'm not saying that, but I feel like it is worth it to take it into account before making the big leap and decision of traveling full time. And how good would it be if we can find the balance of earning enough and having the freedom to travel? Honestly, if you can find the balance in all that, then by all means, go for it. But for most people, it may be challenging to have the means to travel full time or have the stamina to have a lowered quality of life through extreme budget traveling. But I understand, knowing all these cons probably won't automatically make you go back to your 9-to-5 job and suddenly enjoy it. But if you have a workplace that is not toxic, especially to the point where you cannot grow anymore, then I'll say there are 4 things that I'd like to share that can hopefully make you feel grounded and not left behind just because you have a stable job that takes a lot of your time. The first one is to enjoy getting good at what you're doing and reflect on the skills that you have gained over the years. Remember that the world needs everyone to be good at what they're doing. We need doctors, lawyers, engineers, mathematicians, and everyone to be good at what they're doing. And just know that your work matters too, and there are people who need you to be good at your job. Number 2, take little trips that make you happy, or if you enjoy culinary, then do that instead. Number 3, don't chase the big feelings and be okay with living just in the ordinary moments. Remember that having a routine to go back to is really important, and it is actually a blessing that we have to thank God for. If Shakespeare was the one to produce this video, he would probably say, ought to quit or not to quit. But I don't want to end this video on that note, and I don't want you to think that you only have 2 choices, whether you want to travel full-time or you want to continue doing the corporate job. What I want to end this video with is just a thought that you actually have a lot more options than you think. And just because it doesn't look like the stereotypical definition of success these days doesn't mean that your life is not meaningful. The whole point of this video is not to encourage you to quit your job or just stay in a corporate job. No, I want everyone to have the chance to enjoy their life no matter what their routines are. I think it's very sad if we continue chasing an ideal life but never stop to actually enjoy our own lives. And I don't want any one of you to feel that way, and that is why I'm sharing this video. Okay, and actually I've been here for quite some time and it started getting dark, so apologies for the light changes, but it's been fun chatting with you about this, and I would love to hear from you. What do you guys think? And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!